Yup, ladies and gentlemen, Wsow back here with another video, and today we're going to be reviewing Carlos James' newest video about Diazbiffle and others cheating at the World Series of Warzone event that happened in London. Just before we get into reviewing the clip about all this cheating scandal that apparently happened, just like to say congratulations to Diazbiffle and Skullface for winning their games and a lot of money for playing the game they love. Also a massive well done to all of the other Warzone players and Warzone content creators that played within the tournament as well. So now to get into the video.
We saw the World Series of Warzone finals finally commence, and I hosted the entire event in which many of you tuned in to watch. We held higher numbers than just about every Warzone streamer, and it was a pleasure to hang out for 5 hours with everyone, as we laughed at these streamers make absolute fools of themselves, as they were all so scared to move. Absolutely disgusting.
So in this part of the video here, Carlos James is going on about how the players aren't moving, they're sitting in corners like rats, so and so and so and so. I would probably say that the reason they weren't moving as much is obviously there's a lot more on the line, being $100,000 on the line than just playing in your average ranked match that they play in, that most of the players in that match aren't even in the top 250. So obviously they're going to want to be a bit more cautious on how they're running about, because obviously once you're out, there's no buybacks or resurgence or anything. Once you've out, you've lost your chance at winning 100k.
Rules are in place for a reason, but the streamers were not happy. Mobile devices are not allowed, but nobody cared.
So as for the mobile devices thing there, as you can see within the clip, actually, if you go back and watch it a couple of times, they're not actually in like a Warzone game. By the looks of it, they're not actually playing at this point. There's some sort of rather scrim or whatever they were doing game on shipment. And the guy that's in the clip, Len, is on his phone, and then by the looks of it, one of like the operators or like the moderators for the actual tournament comes over and taps him on the shoulder, and you see his teammate tap him, and then after that he gets up with his phone and walks away, maybe to go and put his phone away to say like, oh look, the tournament's starting, you need to put your phone away now. So I think that one's a bit of a reach to say, oh, he was sat at his desk with his phone. Not like you can inject mods with your phone. I know people can obviously contact you, but as it looks like, he got told to go and put it away, and he did, possibly. Like say, I wasn't there to know, didn't hear anyone talk about it, but I'd like to see what you think about that also.
What annoyed me most of all is that the streamers were allowed access to the PCs to install software with no cameras. Streamers were installing everything, nobody cared and nobody watched, and the streamers high-fived themselves all the way to the bank, simply looking at the game. So
what annoyed Carlos James the most is that the streamers were allowed to go in and install software on the PCs that they were using to play Warzone on. Surely they didn't let them in there and let them to their own devices, let them install whatever they want. Surely there was people there watching what they're installing, going over, telling them what they're going to install. I refuse to believe that they just let them in there and let them download whatever they want to get no recoil, as he goes on to say just after this part that I've cut. Like, no way, that is definitely not a thing. Like, honest to God, these people make a living off playing Warzone. I guarantee you no one at this event was hacking or anything like that. Maybe outside of it, some of them maybe do. I'd say there's no solid evidence to say any of them actually do, other than some like sus gameplay clips. But like, honestly, no way they just went in there, installed mods the way Carlos James is like insisting they did. No chance. Also, literally like a couple of hours before the event was due to start, FIFA Kill put on Twitter about what's the best settings for the Astro software that they use for like the audio. So there's no way that they would install their own stuff on there when they all had to use the same sort of dashboards and everything like that as well.
We can all see they had DS4 windows running, as none of them had any recoil. All this will be broken down in future videos.
So as Carlos James says, we all see that they have DS4 windows running and they've all got zero recoil in aimbot. But listen, I guarantee you if I made the class that Biffle is using there, and I was as good as Biffle at Call of Duty, I would definitely have no recoil either. Biffle's probably the only person that could easily play in the CDL out of all of the Warzone pros, in quotation mark pros, because I don't agree that they're pro players. They're just really good at Warzone. But yeah, there's no way that they had like all this recoil stopping software on their computers, no way. Also, Biffle absolutely obliterated Optic Ghosty, Dan Ghosty, in a 1v1 on Shipment. I think it was like 20 kills to 6 he beat him by. He's literally the only Warzone player that can definitely make it in the CDL.
But today, I want to focus on some shameful behavior. In a recent video, a YouTuber exposed cheating in another game. This is known as the wiggle. This is a special signal used between cheaters, so they don't kill each other in game. During last night's $100,000 solo tournament, streamers were using a similar type of thing. Here we have Omit Sage versus Skullface, and already, the signal is there. One of them is going to die on purpose. Sage runs out shooting his weapon and looks up at the sky, allowing Skullface to get the easy kill and get back in the game.
So this part of the video here is something that I don't agree on, if it's true, about the players teaming up, Sage and Skullface. Obviously Sage had previously just won the triples tournament, got like a cut of a massive amount of money, and then also this was for the solo game in the Gulag. So they wouldn't ever know that they were crouching up and down in front of each other, because obviously they're not walling. It's just not happening, like, let's be truthful. Obviously, I mean, I duck up and down in the Gulag, or I duck up and down before a game starts, or I inspect my weapon. Doesn't mean I'm showing a signal to the other person. Just coincidentally happened to be that they were both crouching up and down. And Sage runs straight forward, shooting his gun in the air, look up to the sky, and as you see, Skullface crawl up the ladder, look out the window, and obviously Sage is there for the taking. So obviously he's going to kill him. He said afterwards, after the interview, that he didn't realise that it was Sage in there. He just obviously killed him. He thought the game was reset because he was just looking up at the sky. Obviously, clearly not. Skullface then comes out the Gulag and proceeds to win the game. Bearing in mind, this is at like, there's still 100 players left as Sage is killed in the Gulag and Skullface comes back in. So Skullface still has a lot to do. I don't agree with it if they actually teamed and they both agreed upon this, or if Sage gets more money from Skullface for this. I think that's like, yeah, there should be some sort of fines or something there, because it is cheating. But like I say, you can only go off what someone's saying. Whether you believe them or not is your own opinion.
The female commentator was not happy either, and the crowd were disgusted.
Well, we don't want to see that. I mean, yeah, my pick just won that, and, you know, Sage did take home a lion's share of the 500K pool, but we wanted to see him get crazy.
I don't know. I think Sage said, look, I already won $100,000 with my team. This is my boy Skullface. I'm going to give it to him.
My boy Skullface? This is a $100,000 tournament. What is this podcaster talking about?
Yeah, so like Sage said, my boy Skullface. Obviously, they've known each other a while, clearly, if it's his boy. But what's to say that Sage wouldn't have done that to anyone who's in the Gulag with, because he was happy with the amount of money he won from the previous game that he just won and won a load of money from. So he wasn't really bothered about trying to win this one, as he's already received a lot of money. So he was just doing an unselfish act, and obviously Carl Shame's calling him out on it. So not much more is said in the video after that. He sort of just goes back over what he's already said, puts a clip of the interview in what Skullface done, and yeah, that's really it for the video. Out of the 9-minute video, there was a 3-minute intro, and then about 30-40 seconds at the end where he went back over what he said. So all in all, didn't really talk about the Biffle win too much. Like I say, congrats to Biffle and also Skullface, who got themselves a lot of money in the tournament, as well as Biffle's teammates. As Call of Shame said, they're going to be reviewing stuff and making another video on it, like a follow-up video, which I would love to see. I can't wait for that to be released to see what they have to say about the accusations made. And as for Team Biffle being in a cheating scandal, far from it. No one at this event was cheating. No way. I refuse to believe it. Maybe everyone didn't play as good as they do at home, but there's a lot more pressure to this as it's a tournament. And if they are hacking at home, they can't bring the hacks to this event, which makes them not as good anyways. So they're not going to play to the level they have been anyways. And as I said before, Biffle is probably the best Warzone player, like, on the planet right now. There's no one better. No one better at all. What he did to Dan Ghosty in that game, was unmatched. No one done that to any of the other. You had Scrappy doing 360s while playing Huskers and beat him. Like, come on. Yeah, it was like night and day. Biffle made a Ghost. It looked like the Warzone player, and it looked like Biffle was the CDL player there. And just another thing while we're talking about Coliseum, about the hacker hunting sort of content, it's getting very dry now. They're running out of ways to make these accusations up. I just feel like maybe in 2019, with all the rise of these random new content creators, due to like lockdown and stuff, everyone giving it a go, and there was this race to the top. See who can break every world record on the game, and obviously people were cheating to do that. There's no denying it. But like a lot of those content creators now aren't even playing the game. Like look at Nadia, she's barely even touched Modern Warfare 2 at all. She got pretty much muffled out by these hacker hunters making these accusations of hacking. Like I say, I do get why the hacker hunters are around, like, and do you know, at one point I thought they were doing good for the community, but now I don't feel they are. They're probably making it a more toxic place than it already is, and the COD community is really toxic already, so it doesn't need to be a more toxic place. The days are now gone where someone was good at a game and everyone buzzed over them being good. Now it's, oh, they're good, or they must be hacking, they must be walling, they must be VPNing, and don't get me wrong, there's a reason why this happens, and it's because a lot of people did cheat. But if you just sit back and look and watch these people, they're not hacking. Like, this is their livelihood. A lot of them aren't hacking. Some of them are, but a lot of them aren't. Not every big streamer is a hacker. There's definitely some hackers amongst the group of big streamers, but not everyone is hacking. Maybe instead of saying, oh, Biffle's hacking because he got a lot of kills, Biffle's doing this, Biffle's doing that because he's won the World Series of Warzone. How about we take a look at his gameplay and say, do you know what, this guy's the best Warzone player on the planet. It's really good to have this sort of player in our community, and like, let's just enjoy it while he's still playing. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the Call of Shame video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments who you think out of the big streamers is actually cheating. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace out.